So these tests are largely inaccessible to one demographic, the visually impaired. But our device changes that. We have the competitive advantage over certain devices that you see on the screen. The one on the left is an iPhone inserted into a device that then a cassette is inserted into, which then visualizes the results and outputs them to the user. There is also a prior art of a device where a cassette is inserted and then it outputs the results visually. But both these devices miss the mark. Our device is able to provide the results via audio, via a speaker and an amplifier. It also is able to have a stationary camera that does not have to be adjusted with each use, and that can be compatible with all types of tests, especially pregnancy, strep, and COVID-19. With our device, we allow the user to insert the device and then it's scanned and the results are outputted.
So our target market that our device will hit is the visually impaired, but also the elderly community. And the 20 million people in the U.S. Are visually impaired. So this means either with glasses, with lenses, surgery, in that matter. And out of all these people, 9% are women and 6% are men, with our target associated market of $40 billion per year.
So we hope to achieve a market share of 0.01% in the first year of the $5 billion associated with the assistive technology. This will yield $500,000 in sales. With a 0.05% stake of this market for year 2, we will get $2.5 million in sales. 0.1% in year 3 will yield $5 million.
So our market strategy, as I said earlier, is not only the visually impaired, but also the elderly fall on that. So our online ads for our device will be on assistive technology device websites. And so our website will be friendly for the visually impaired, which means audio output, as well as larger text and font, things of that matter. We also have ambassadors that will promote our product on social media and those various outlets. And we also take our product across the country to different conventions that for the visually impaired.
Our primary critical risk is FDA approval. We are a Class 1 device that poses low risk and no harm to the user, with no current predicate device.
So right now, our revenue model for Dr. A is we have a Raspberry Pi 4, which is a type of computer inside our device that is one of our biggest expenses, but we're hoping to downgrade to a smaller, more efficient model, so that our materials cost will be around $115, with our target per price unit to be $150. So therefore, our profit margin per unit will be $36.
We are a direct-to-consumer model, with expanding to big box retailers in year 3, such as Sam's Club. With our projected market share, we will sell 3,000 units in year 1 and 33,000 in year 3.
So our fixed cost for our device will be our salary, our initial cost under the FDA approval, as well as the material costs that come with our device. Our salary that we're hoping for one of our members is to be $35,000, and the startup cost, which was funded by our senior design class, right now is at $1,030.
In year 3, Dracula will have a 0.1% stake of the $5 billion market, therefore having $1.5 million in profit annually. With a healthcare industry MAR of 12.62%, we are seeking an initial investment of $45,000. Join Dracula, the company that helps you see results clearly.
Thank you. We'll let the other team members come out for questions, and now we'll turn it to the judges for their questions to this team.
Okay. So this is basically what we're trying to sell a box.
This is our CAD model.
And then, so Sarah doesn't understand. So when somebody buys, say, your kit, what comes with that, and like how long your test strips last, etc. So tell me what comes in a kit.
So we're not providing the test strips or like the pregnancy test. We're just providing the device, and so this device will be reusable over time. So we won't include the pregnancy test, COVID test, strep test, but we will So basically what you're buying is our device that will read your test that you purchase yourself.
Does it only read certain tests, or because there's multiple
Yeah.
tests and multiple
Yeah.
different variants, so, I mean, is it specific to only certain tests, or is it gonna be universal?
The parts composing our device are a UV light, a camera, speaker, amplifier, and a test strip area. And so to follow up with your question, currently it's only compatible with strep, COVID, and pregnancy tests, but the ability to expand is massive once we train the device on whatever type of strip you want to insert into it, whether it be a UTI test strip or anything of the like. All we have to do is train the device to understand it. So the hope is by the time we go to market, we have multitude of tests that are compatible.
Like just the different, even just different pregnancy tests are out there. So, like you insert the whole thing and it means that maybe it's not at the top, it's at the bottom, or, so it can detect that?
Yeah, it will detect the lines that are on our strip. So the camera will analyze that, and we'll have a system that will output audio over the audio to let the user know.
The camera can visualize the whole test tray.
Yeah.
So as long as your test is less than 7 inches, 7 inches long, 1 inch wide, you're good.
Yeah, that was you saying one of my questions that you mentioned going there. So, one of the risks is FDA approval. What's your estimate of the time and cost to get FDA approval for this? And I understand it's a low risk device, I get that. But given that, what does it cost, what does the time take to get to that?
Well, you couldn't really, there was pretty much 0 predicate devices for
Yep.
our model. So it was very hard to find something that has had how much it would cost or how much time it would take. So we haven't done a lot of research for the cost of the device.
Yes.
Yeah. Since it's pretty unique, so it was very hard to find something else.
It'll depend on how long the FDA takes to process it and the process that we go
So
through.
how many prototypes have you built?
By
We're in
the
the
end,
process of building one right now.
So have you tested this on test to say we've run it 10,000 times and it's, 93% accurate? Have you got to that point yet, or is it still?
this device is part of our senior design capstone for engineering. So as we started in August and we'll complete with a fully functional prototype in May, we're entering our build design report in 5 weeks where we will have a functioning prototype and data for all of
That's
that.
fair. Just the COA, they always accelerate, they have it done in 3 months, engineering people, they're behind, but that's fine. We get it, right? See, the dean says that. Okay, you talked about marketing. Have you thought about the budget for the marketing cost? You have a number of shows, I get that people, there's one person to do that, but have you really developed a marketing budget yet for that for the first year or two?
I would say probably $50,000 from the targeted ads, as well as, if we're not incorporating the cost of developing a website. Since we are gaining, our profit in year 1 would be $500,000 with our projections, so that would be.
Okay, I'm gonna yield the floor to my colleague.
Okay, my question is this. Is this actually a device that needs FDA approval? Because actually the test is the medical device and this is just a reader. So does it actually need FDA approval?
We're looking into that, but since it contains the UV light sterilization component, that may be the only place that would require FDA oversight. But it is an assistive technology tool, as you're saying, not a diagnostic device, so.
Right. Okay. And then have you looked at cost analysis versus, because you said some competitors use an iPhone attachment or integrating software into iPhone. Have you looked at some cost comparisons between that and doing a custom machine?
Those devices that I showed are only the patents for them. They're
Oh,
not actually on, there's nothing
there's
on the
nothing on
market.
that.
We are, they're producing, the closest thing to us is they're producing a tactile pregnancy test in the United Kingdom, but that's just the pregnancy test. It's not strep or COVID, and so our device helps people be able to read it on their own without requiring a spouse or just a neighbor. Some people don't have someone to ask to read their test, and honestly, they should be the first to know if they are pregnant or not.
So how did y'all come up with this idea?
When we were iterating for our senior design project, we wanted to do something with women's reproductive health, and we started with trying to create the better pregnancy test. And so we were going through that, and it ended up being a lot more chemistry than is our backgrounds, and so we wanted to diversify as well to not just help women, but also be able to test for COVID and strep and various diseases, so that you don't have to go to the doctor, and all you have to do once you purchase our device is buy whatever test you want to stick in it, and then you have your result.
We have forever. All right. There's a good idea here, I think, and just to tell you that, I think there's some holes in the plan that you don't know yet, okay? So I'm just going to go straight with you on that. The gross margin percentage at 23%, that's probably not enough. You're going to have to get that, either get the cost down, which is probably the best way to do this. It's a fairly simple device, right? It's not that complicated quantity. I think you should find a way to get that cost down. You could probably cut it in half. You need to get your margins well above 50% on this, because otherwise you're not going to have any cash flow. It's going to disappear. So I think that's just from a manufacturing production standpoint, you should get to that. There's probably people better at manufacturing than you. Have you considered a royalty model? Have you considered building a prototype and selling this and taking back 2% of everything that they do?
We've considered partnering with a private company after graduation to be under their wing as they take us to production and to the big box retailers, as I said, hopefully in year 3. And about the analysis with the pricing, that was solely based on the highest that it could be, because that's our current prototype, and the cost we're paying for the amplifier, the UV light at market cost. So that's our ceiling.
That's fair. Go for it. Right. You talked about these other applications for it, and it seems to me, if I'm visually impaired, and maybe I'm a senior already, but anyway, so there's using this once to come out pregnancy as a senior is probably not what I'm going to do, especially as a male. But there's and strep, I may get that every couple of years, so I'm not going to need to have it. It seems like you want to get this where there's, I would use it every month for different things. Is there potential to use this a lot during the year, so I really want to have one in my home?
There's potential for flu, or like, as I said, UTI earlier, or just other diagnostic testing from that perspective.
Quantify to say if you got everything you wanted, how often a year would, particularly females, you want the females a lot, would they use it 4 times a year, 12 times a year, 1 time a year? What's your, can you quantify what your upside is?
Probably once a month, so that would be 12 times a year. If we're talking about.
Okay, my question is what do you have any idea on the market? I mean, what do they do now? What do the vision impaired do now as far as testing? Do they have it rented, or I mean, what's?
For certain tests, like I showed you the Clear Blue pregnancy test, they've moved into just having a digital display that says the words pregnant or not pregnant, and so they've started rolling that out, and so some people will use an iPhone to just read that
Just a
audibly.
magnifier, right? Or yeah, or
Well, yes, but the iPhone will read
read
the words on the pregnancy test, but that's not applicable to COVID or strep or certain other line-based tests. It's more popular to do that versus the pregnancy anomaly.
Well, going back to your UV light, because, kind of like what they brought up, I don't even know, because with salons, we have to have our utensils, scissors, clippers, with UV light, and it's like, it's just a little toaster oven, basically. So I'm wondering why you think that you would have to actually have FDA approval for this. And then,
Because UVC can, depending on which wavelength we go with, if we go with far UVC or just UVC, one is in 250 nanometers and the other is 220 for far UVC. So far UVC is way less likely to cause skin damage, cancer as far as that's concerned. And so that would probably allow us to have lower clearance and maybe go under the FDA approval and be able to go straight to market. But if we go with higher UVC levels, then we have to make sure that because that's cancer causing levels at the 250. So that's where the concern is.
Okay, while the judges finish that scoring, we're going to award a few more door prizes if you have your number. 7724493. Yeah? There we go, back there. Okay, you ready, Dr. Brown? 7724541. Is that another one? 7724551. Okay. All right, we'll do one more, and then we'll introduce our next team. 7724533. Did that not hit? Okay. Okay. Our next team is Horizonte. Team members are Irvin Briseno, an international business and MSIS major from Belize, and Jorge Estrada, a computer engineering and MSIS major from Guatemala. Horizonte.
We are Horizonte Digital Solutions, where we help small businesses grow beyond their digital horizons. We're a small business, consulting business settled in Guatemala, and we are focused on providing high-quality, price-friendly digital solutions. Our team members include Jorge Estrada, myself, Irvin Briseno, and Jacqueline Estrada. We have discovered that in Guatemala, small businesses tend to fail because they have a lack of a good digital presence. And this is unveiled to us 3 unique opportunities. 1, small businesses do not have the financial capabilities to pay a digital agency. 2, there's over 400,000 micro small businesses in Guatemala alone. And 3, small business owners, though they may have the time, they may not have the expertise or tools to manage them by themselves. For example, we had one barbershop, our first client, who is named Hipsters. He had about 10 walk-ins per month on the low end. Now, he averages over 1,000 barber appointments per month through a website that we make. However, we don't just work with appointment websites. We also make landing pages, corporate websites, and e-commerce websites. This e-commerce website, for example, is from one of our clients. They are called El Injerto. Here, they process sales from their online coffee store. We also offer to El Injerto social media management as well as digital advertising. Now, let's take a look at our target market. Ideally, we're aiming for businesses with less than 20 employees settled in Guatemala. These could be barbershops, your coffee shop, or just your local small retailer. And our service is different than our competitors because we offer a holistic, tailored solution for every client at a competitive price point. When taking a look at our competitors, though they may offer very similar services, they may not be able to match our affordability or be a sole provider the way we are. Taking a look at our pricing strategy, we have 3 major bundles. We have an all-inclusive package, a monthly/yearly subscription, and a solo package, which is a one-time payment. Now, what we have noticed from our customers in the past few years is that they can be divided into 3 major segments. First are those with an all-inclusive package. We call them our inheritors because that's our first client who chose this package. Next are those who have a monthly or yearly subscription package. These we call our hipsters. And finally are those with a solo package. We call them our tails. For 2024, we will gain 8 additional inheritors, 7 additional hipsters, and 3 additional tails. And we will do so using the following marketing strategies. First, direct marketing. We'll use emails, WhatsApp, business calls to contact both potential clients and previous clients to kind of catch up with them, see if they need another service of ours. One of the clients that we've worked with is called Transporte GT. They are a parent company in Guatemala with over 10 subsidiaries. We have created websites for 2 of these subsidiaries, and we're currently working on securing the other 8. We have referrals in bold because up to this point, referrals have been the way we get our clients. Every client we have gotten has been referred to us from a previous client that we have worked with. We will also utilize personal selling. We will hire a few salespeople where they can earn a 6.5% commission based on the total value of the contract that they secured. We will also use digital marketing. We have decided that we will go with a budget of around $3,000 focused on search engine optimization, Facebook ads, and Google ads. Along the same line of digital marketing, we will also have a social media page. Here, we'll post original content focused on raising awareness and attracting new customers to our business. Finally, we will have a website set in place. Here, potential clients will be able to see our previous clients' success stories. And if they know what they want, they will be able to create a solo package or a package for them and get an immediate quote. But let's say they need help, right? Maybe they don't know what they want. They'll be able to schedule an appointment with us where we will get notified and we can help them out. Now, let's take a look at our finances. We must stress, all up to this point, we have still been a side hustle. Both of us are full-time students, we're seniors. However, by the end of 2023, we'll secure just above $6,000 in profits. And this will come through 5 clients that we have secured. Now, assuming that we have reached our goal for each client segment for 2024, we could have projected profits just under $50,000. This will come through potential revenues of $82,900 and expenses of just around $23,580. Following this growth pattern that we have seen in past trends, by 2026, we'd have reached our goal just a little beneath $250,000. We want to find a new hipster, a new injerto, a new small business so that we can help them grow, and we can help them grow beyond their digital horizons. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for Horizonte, and now we're going to open it up for the judges' questions.
Thank you so much. Are all your sites custom, or are you going to be, is it going to be like a template-based system?
So we have both solutions. So based on the base system that we have currently right now for designing and building,